Ohio. Keine Ahnung, was sie sagt. So. So, ich mach kurz Greenscreen. Au, 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 au. Ich hab auf den Controller gespielt. Aua. Alicia, du kannst trotzdem in die Jacke. Ich sitze auf der Jacke. Hier, guck, das ist die Jacke. Sehen aus wie ich. Naja, nicht ganz. Also ich habe halt Pony, weißt du. Tobi, ich sag ja, ich bin elegant wie keiner sonst. Ups, ich bin ausgerutscht. Das ist jetzt also mir unangenehm. Wieso habe ich eigentlich schon wieder den Controller in der Hand? Wir haben das immer mit Maus gespielt. Also, ich fasse zusammen. Das letzte Mal haben wir hier diesen Strang gemacht. Hier sind wir gestorben. Hier hatten wir das erste Ende, was nicht tot war. Und hier haben wir wieder ein Passwortlog, weil wir das Passwort nicht kennen. Das heißt, wir machen jetzt nach Yoshikis Death weiter und haben diesen Strang. Und ich hoffe, dass wir diesen Strang heute schaffen.
Congratulations, Team B.
Danke.
After 3 rounds, you have come out victorious.
Ich drücke dir die Daumen, Beauty Unicorn. Elegant wie ein Wrecking Ball. I carry like a... Okay. Entschuldigung, mir fehlt Twitch-Things. Wir ziehen an einem Strang, also an mehreren Strängen, aber also an einem also wir ziehen immer an einem Strang und haben aber mehrere Stränge, an denen wir immer zusammenziehen.
And that means Team A, you lose.
Das kennen wir alles schon. Genau, den Tod kennen wir schon.
Yoshiki?
Und dann dreht jetzt wieder durch. Nicholas knelt down to check Yoshiki's vitals. He raised his head to meet the captain's eyes.
I'm sorry, Captain.
The captain broke down in tears, hugging Yoshiki so tightly that her cries were muffled by his lifeless body. Kennen wir das nicht schon? Captain I...
Leave her be.
Doch, das kennen wir schon. Das hat er uns schon mal gesagt.
We all have places to be. Let's get out of here and allow the captain to grieve in peace.
Das hat der war schon mal so. Wieso ist der immer so bevormundend? I stood for a moment longer, watching as the captain continued to cry into Yoshiki's chest. Unable to bear it any longer, I finally turned and left. Selbst, die macht nur Probleme. Na, die hat uns ja schon abgestochen. Und sich selbst. I couldn't sleep. Yoshiki's death was my fault. I was the captain of our team and I felt entirely responsible for his death. I felt incredibly frustrated, so I decided to get up. Egal. Get up and vent my brimming anger at the gym. Was? Ich gehe ins Gym? Ich sag doch, 130 Kilo. Once there, I mounted the treadmill and just ran. It wasn't until I stumbled, almost slipping on the running belt, that I realized that my tears had created a dangerous slick underfoot. Ich bin noch nicht im Englischen drin, sorry. I stepped off the treadmill and caught my breath on a bench nearby. I wiped my eyes and tried to stand. My legs didn't want to obey me. Oh.
Hey!
Ist er besoffen? Hä?
Excuse me?
Der ist besoffen, oder? Nicholas? I opened my eyes and found Nicholas bending down over me, his hand gently rocking me awake.
Good morning.
I sat up suddenly, realizing that I had fallen fast asleep sitting up in the gym. I must have looked a mess. Good morning.
I'm not a doctor, but sleeping on a bench in the gym is probably not great for your posture.
I'm not a doctor. Ist der nicht ein Arzt? Ist der nicht ein Arzt? Warte mal, der hat mich untersucht und hat mich... Warte mal. Der hat sich nur als Arzt ausgegeben, um mich nackt zu sehen? Okay. Nicholas smiled playfully.
Oh, wait, that's right. I am a doctor. And I do not recommend whatever this is.
Okay, er ist doch ein Arzt. Alles gut. Nicholas pointed at me, laughing. He took a seat next to me.
Are you okay?
I'm the reason Yoshiki died. I was... What can I say? I love sleeping in strange places. Nicholas appeared amused at my response. Komm. Dann sagt er, kannst du auch in meinem Bett schlafen.
And what is the strangest place you have slept?
I'll have you know that I slept in a small stasis pod for the majority of my life.
That is not all that strange, given that we both live in outer space.
Not good enough for you, eh?
Absolutely not. Nowhere near strange enough.
Okay, lassen wir das. Ich
And
dachte,
Are you
wir
okay?
flirten damit, okay? Wir machen...
Yoshiki's death was not your fault.
Dann versuchen wir jetzt einfach... Wir sind die zerbrechliche Frau, die traurig ist und wollen, dass der starke, muskulöse Mann sich überlegen fühlt und uns beschützen will. Das ist unsere Strategie. Hallo May. Das ist unsere Strategie, wie wir ihn ins Bett kriegen. But I was the leader.
We all agreed on our team's point allocations.
I should have done more to protect him.
Honestly, I've replayed the game in my head over and over again, and I'm unsure we could have made any better choices.
What do you mean?
The game was designed to kill someone. If not Yoshiki, then it may have been you.
I think I would have rather died so Yoshiki could live. Nicholas straightened up, looking very grave.
You will not be dying on my watch.
Er ist böse. But we could have saved Yoshiki.
I will not save anyone at your expense.
Und was mit Beatrix? Was mit deiner Schwester? Würdest du uns opfern, damit Beatrix leben würde? But I could have saved him.
The past cannot be altered.
Bumsi heute, ich hoffe. I know, but I miss him so much it hurts.
I understand. I also miss him and his unbearable amount of energy.
Warum ist er eigentlich nicht eifersüchtig? Denkt er nicht, dass... Also, ist ja jetzt so, dass so Gefühle interessieren ihn nicht, sondern nur Bumsi Bumsi. Und er ist dann so, ja gut, Bumsi Bumsi kann sie mit dem eh nicht machen, der ist tot. Oder ist er einfach nicht eifersüchtig? He did have a lot of energy, didn't he? I let out a small giggle as memories of Yoshiki's exuberance, spricht man das so aus, came flooding back.
Come on. You should probably shower before breakfast.
Stink ich oder was? I sighed as I got to my feet. Thanks for waking me up, Nicholas. I'm going to shower before breakfast.
I am glad that I could help.
Was Doofs? Was sind denn Doofs? I see you at breakfast. Ach so, Daddy's I like to... Ja, aber ich mach nicht nur... Hallo? Der ist nicht alt. Die sind alle junge, knackige Menschen und ich werde sie alle bumsen. Er will mit mir duschen. Stimmt. Aber er hat Tschüss gesagt. I excused myself and headed straight to the bath. I tentatively stepped into the shower and immediately I was enveloped by the most heavenly sensation of warm water running over my stiff neck and shoulders. I netted my neck with my knuckles, each pass making me feel a little less tight.
If only I could touch you, I could give you a hand.
Müssen wir schon wieder im Handtuch raus? I screeched and spun around, almost toppling over to find Di standing there in the shower with me. Di, you scared the living daylights out of me.
I find I have that effect on people.
Danke, May. Danke. Die Kamera wahrscheinlich. Okay. Di laughed maniacally as she held her hand out to the cascading water. It just flowed right through her. Have you come to take a shower?
You know I'm an AI, right?
I do.
So, how or why would I shower?
So unterschiedlich laut, ne? Well, I understand that you don't need to, but it is quite relaxing, and I imagine that killing people is quite stressful. Di placed her hand over her chest, appearing legitimately touched.
I can't explain how much that means to me. Everyone else wants me dead. But you care for me.
Am Ende sind wir auch nur eine AI, aber wir haben halt das Hardlight und wir sind einfach ihre Schwester. Di burst into overly dramatic tears before stopping suddenly and glaring at me with extreme suspicion.
Wait, why do you care? What's in it for you?
I don't see any benefit to antagonizing you.
So, you're nice to me because antagonizing me provides you with no reward?
I guess that's one way to put it.
I'm still a little hurt, but I'm also impressed by your emotional restraint and your prioritizing of logical reasoning. Nothing turns a program on more. Meow.
Schön, dass es bei einer AI läuft, aber bei den Männern hier nicht. Thank you.
Anywho, enough chit-chat. You're to report to the dining hall for the new game explanation.
Bumsi Dime. Würde ich ja, aber die ist nicht hardlit. Is it that time already?
Yup.
Can I at least finish up here?
You know what? Sure. I'm very charitable this morning. I'll give you a whole 10 minutes to finish up and be in the dining hall.
Wow! Ich darf mich anziehen. Thanks, Di. I appreciate it. Sie ist kein Roboter, sie ist eine AI, Mann. Roboter könnte ich anfassen. Roboter könnte ich bumsen.
Anytime, girlfriend.
Hey, you, I could be a... Okay. Di faded away as I hastily finished my shower. She gave me 10 minutes, but I thought it might be best to get there as soon as possible, just in case. I walked into the dining hall with a minute to spare and saw the rest of the crew were present and seated.
You are late.
Nein, ich hatte 10 Minuten, du blöde Kuh. What? I thought I had 10 minutes.
You did. They didn't.
What? She's getting favoritism? That's not fair.
Ach, halt die Klappe.
Green doesn't suit you, Trixie.
Ach, weil grün Neid.
Who cares? Let's just get on with it.
Du übersteuerst Shizuka. The entire room turned to Shizuka. Such an outburst was extremely unlike her.
Did I say that out loud?
Who knew that the kitten had claws? I love it.
Shizuka shrunk visibly, trying her hardest to disappear through the back of the seat. I'm sorry for being late, it wasn't my intention.
Very well. Take a seat. Di, please begin.
Wie ich angepflaumt werde, obwohl ich 10 Minuten hatte, okay?
You're not the boss of me. I'll start when I want to start.
Di pouted and stood with her arms folded like a child. The room sat in silence, restlessly waiting for the stalemate to break.
Okay, we can start, but only because I want to.
Ich will aber noch gar nicht anfangen. Ich fange dann an, wann ich anfangen will. Okay, wir können jetzt anfangen, weil ich will.
Welcome to this week's deletion game, Vampire Children.
Okay. Guter Punkt. Ich kann mir was Süßes holen. Wartet. Viel Spaß damit. Ich habe wieder meine Balena-Kekse. Meine Kekse. So. Sind wir da. Ich passe immer auf. War das gerade Babygeräusche? Die habe ich davor noch nie gehört. Also ich schätze mal, diesmal ist Nicholas der Vampir und wird mit Beatrix maten und sagen, er hilft mir.
Ahem.
Ja.
Vampire Children is played one no however after if now.
Wir spielen es doch eh nie. Wir spielen dieses Spiel nie.
Excellent.
Niemals spielen wir dieses Scheißspiel, okay?
We understand that you have a choice in deletion game carrier and want to thank you all so much for choosing the Die Deletion game service. We murder for your satisfaction, and we look forward to servicing you again this Sunday.
Everyone stood up slowly and wandered off the dining hall. I headed back to my quarters alone and spent the rest of the day planning how best to face this new game. I stared sleeplessly at the ceiling of my quarters for most of the night. Sleep expertly eluded me, and I was becoming more and more frustrated. Perhaps it was time for another approach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
May I interrupt your counting of...
Sheep. I'm counting sheep.
I have scanned the interior of the ship, and I cannot locate the sheep you speak of. Would you like me to put the ship on lockdown until they have been found?
No, it's alright. It's nice to see you. Seriously, how are you? It's so nice to see you.
Are you okay? Your voice patterns and frequency do not match the normal ones that I have on record.
Hallo Katja. Nee, also ich streame ja jetzt schon ein paar Wochen. Montag und Donnerstag früher und Dienstag und Freitag normal. Ja. Und viel Spaß im Lurk. Hallo. Ja, ich versuche meinen Schlafrhythmus ein bisschen zu fixen, weil ich muss ja danach immer noch mit dem Hund und so. Alles gut, alles gut. Musst du ja nicht. Deswegen versuche ich so ab und zu mal wenigstens. Und zweimal spät ist okay. Oh. Das kenne ich. Ich sag in den meisten Streams nicht mal Hallo. Ich bin so fertig. Ich hab's tatsächlich noch gar nicht geguckt. Ich bin momentan so raus aus Musik und allem, weil mich das alles nur traurig macht, weil ich weiß, dass ich, also so, zum Beispiel Mannheim so, dass das halt momentan nicht möglich ist. Deswegen, ich bin viel zu traurig, um irgendwas anzugucken. I'm having trouble sleeping, so I appreciate any company.
This is fitting then. The captain has requested your attendance on the bridge.
Mine? Why?
She has some concerns that she hopes you can alleviate. Shall I tell her to expect you?
Was für ein K-Pop-Sauf-Weekend? Es ist Corona, ich werde sicher auf kein Wochenende mit anderen Menschen gehen. Yes, of course, I'm on my way. Before I could react, I was already out the door and on the bridge in record time. Good morning, Captain. How can I help you this morning? Bin ich jetzt Die oder was? Ich werde zu Die, glaube ich. The captain turned slowly on her chair, then stood to face me. Her face very quickly shifted from concern to bemused. Ja, aber ich mach's nicht. Also ich treffe mich mit niemandem. Captain, what's wrong?
We will get to that in just a moment. More importantly, where are your clothes?
Also ich mach bei sowas nicht mit. Also ihr könnt es machen. Das ist euer Risiko, aber ich habe viel zu große Angst, meine Eltern anzustecken. I looked down and realized that I was in such a hurry to leave my quarters that I was still in the singlet and shorts that I slept in. Und mir geht's auch nicht um Lockdown oder so. Mir geht's nicht um die Regeln. Mir geht's ganz klar darum, wenn ich geimpft bin irgendwann, dann mache ich wieder normal alles, aber davor... Ja, ist ja okay, Katja, ist ja okay, aber also ich mach's nicht. Also, wie gesagt, ihr könnt ja machen, was ihr machen wollt. Das ist euer Risiko, aber ich möchte es nicht haben. Sir, my top priority isn't today casual dress Friday. Sorry, Captain, I'm not sleeping well. I must have forgotten. Ich mache jetzt einen Witz, weil ich dich hasse, Kimiko. The Captain broke into... Raw? Wie spricht man das aus? Sie hat gelacht. Hysterisch hat sie gelacht.
Not only is it absolutely ludicrous, but it is also Saturday.
Wait, it's Saturday?
Stop! You were killing me.
I checked my tablet discreetly to confirm this. Guess it is Saturday.
Thank you. You always make me laugh.
Ich dachte, sie wird jetzt halt so... Yoshiki ist gerade gestorben und du machst Witze. Wie kannst du nur? Ich dachte, sowas kommt. I decided to come clean with the captain after hearing the captain laugh. The tension was broken. I'm sorry for deceiving you, Captain, but I actually just forgot I haven't been sleeping well and it's left me a bit hair-headed, yeah.
I understand. Everyone is handling the situation in different ways. These are hard times.
Thank you, Captain.
Have you considered milk?
What? Sorry, what?
Have you considered drinking warm milk before going to bed?
Kannst du ganze Sätze sprechen? So. Böse. Was böse? Ich bin böse auf dich, weil das und das und das und das und das passiert ist. So. Okay, und du dachtest jetzt, nur weil du böse sagst, habe ich alles verstanden, ja? Kommt drauf an, May. Also jetzt gerade ist er weiblich. Aber also Katja auf jeden Fall, wie gesagt, ich verurteile euch nicht. Macht das, wie ihr so richtig haltet. Aber also ich gehe auf sowas, bis Corona wirklich so ist, dass man sagen kann, also entweder ich geimpft bin oder es wirklich alle geimpft sind. Für meine Eltern. Das werde ich nicht eingehen, das Risiko. Does that help?
It has helped me greatly in my times of need. And it also has the extra benefit of sating hunger as well.
Wow, really? Alright, I'll give it a shot.
I hope it works well for you.
So why am I here, Captain?
Just over a week ago, I made the choice to stay on course towards the black hole.
Yes, I remember, and your argument made sense, so what's the problem?
We will be at the closest point to the black hole tomorrow
ist auch
just
schon
after
wieder.
4 a.m. and people are already talking.
Ja,
Time dilation?
jetzt gebe ich hier ihren
Wise
Scheiß...
words.
Ja, genau,
I
ihren Scheiß
wonder
Tipp.
where you got them from. But you... Noble indeed. Thank you for the laugh and for your counsel.
Wir haben Ziegen, Schafe, wir haben alles. Wir haben Kühe, also wir haben Tiere an Bord. Well, if you will excuse me, I'm going to pour myself a glass of milk and attempt to sleep again. I left the bridge and made a beeline for the kitchen. Was ist denn eine Beeline? Ist es sowas wie eine Fliege machen? I arrived to find someone poking around in the fridge. Katashi? Wait, it can't be Katashi. I felt my face fall as the crushing reality of Katashi's recent death replaced a split moment of hope. Ach, Katashi ist tot, stimmt.
Sorry to disappoint you.
Nikolas, warum bist du überall? Oh, Nikolas. I'm not disappointed after Yoshiki's... Ich bin nicht enttäuscht.
Oh?
I leaned into Nicholas and whispered flirtatiously into his ear. You're my favorite. Yeah?
I am flattered.
Good, you should be.
Are you okay?
I'm just really tired. Nicholas' face was awash with concern.
Are you not sleeping well?
Not really, no.
Are you here to get a drink of milk?
Ja, und vielleicht, um einen Begleiter ins Bett mitzunehmen, der natürlich nur neben mir schlafen soll. Und vielleicht beruhigt mich der Atem von dieser Person. How did you know?
Educated guess. Milk contains not only melatonin, but tryptophan, which causes the brain to produce serotonin, helping induce sleep.
Kannst du einfach nur mitkommen und genauso weiterreden? Ich glaube, das hilft mir beim Schlafen. Yeah, the captain suggested it as well.
Well, it was a good suggestion. I have an idea. Why don't you go have a quick shower, and I will bring you a glass of warm milk once you are finished.
Er will, dass ich sauber bin. Warum will er das? Warum will er eigentlich immer, dass ich dusche? Bist du irgend so ein Hygienefetischist oder was? Shower?
Warm showers can help with regulating your body temperature, and the resultant drop in temperature afterwards can also assist in sleeping.
Ja, aber wirst du mit mir sleepen? Milk won't be enough?
It may be, but the shotgun strategy seems to be the best one here.
Nein, ich dusche alleine. Er bringt mir dann das Glas Milch in mein Zimmer. Er möchte also, dass ich sauber in meinem Zimmer bin, während er in mein Zimmer kommt. That sounds dangerous.
Well, it is not exactly a medical term. It means taking multiple approaches in the hope that one will work. The more things we fire at you, the more likely it is that one will hit. Hence, shotgun strategy.
Richtig gut. Alright, I'm convinced. I will take a shower and meet you back here.
Never mind that, I will come to your quarters. Do your best to relax and be prepared for some amazing sleep.
Thanks, Nicholas. Okay, I'm off. I left the kitchen excited by the prospect of sleep. I took my time in the warm shower, then headed back to my quarters to await my room service. Just as I was changing into my night clothes, Nicholas appeared.
Knock, knock.
Just a second. After I was done, Nicholas entered with a brimming glass of milk in hand, balancing it like an experienced waiter.
Here we go. I hope your shower was enjoyable.
Only one way to find out if it worked. I brought the milk to my lips, then paused when it came to me that I had never asked why Nicholas was even up at this hour. Nicholas, why are you still awake?
I was notified that the captain's vital signs were elevated, signs of distress.
Did I tell you?
Yes, she did. I got up to check on the captain, but I noticed you were already with her. Because I was now up, I did what any normal man would, and I stopped for a snack on the way to bed.
Das ist total sexistisch, das würde auch jede Frau tun. What did you I was rudely interrupted by my own huge yawn. Nicholas smiled, seeing that his sleep remedy was taking effect.
I found a slice of cheesecake. It was delicious. I have saved you some for later.
Danke. Oh, hat mir Essen aufgehoben. I remembered to reply, but exhaustion made it mostly incoherent.
Good night. Rest well.
Du gehst? Nee, der hat nicht Kühe, der Tote hat Kühe.
Knock, knock.
Was kommt der denn schon wieder? Hä? I opened my eyes to witness Nicholas at my bedside with a plate in his hand. Nicholas?
Good morning, sleepyhead.
Ist das sein Zimmer oder ist das mein Zimmer? Warum ist er immer in meinem Zimmer? Oh yeah, morning.
I brought you that piece of cheesecake I mentioned.
My brain suddenly went into overdrive at the mention of cheesecake. How long was I out for?
Only about 4.5 hours. I woke you up now as you just recently came out of REM sleep.
Also ich möchte diesen Mann nicht heiraten. Okay, der ist viel zu anstrengend. Oh, du bist gerade aus der Phase rausgegangen, deswegen habe ich dich geweckt. Willst du mich verarschen? REM?
A part of your sleep cycle. It is usually marked by an increase in breathing and heart rate and is the best time to rouse someone.
Thank you.
You are most welcome. Now, have some cake.
Okay, ich meine, ich verzeihe ihm das, wenn er mich mit Essen weckt. Das ist wieder was anderes. Nicholas handed me the die Ladenplatte. Ja, die Ladenplatte, sieht man ja. Well, looks like the shotgun strategy worked. Thank you, Nicholas, for Did you drug me? Das will ich einfach nur wissen.
Yes.
He didn't even try to deny it. The cheek.
It was only to help you sleep.
That was supposed to be what the milk and the shower were for.
I explained the shotgun strategy. The medicine was simply another shotgun pellet.
Das war ein Scherz! You can't just go around drugging people.
I can, and I just did. Are you upset?
Of course I am. You can't just do whatever you want without people's consent.
Are you well rested?
That's not the point.
It is exactly the point.
Nein, es ist
the
nicht.
ends justify the means.
Nein, tut's nicht. You could have just offered the sleeping pills to me. Richtig.
It wouldn't have worked as well.
What? Why wouldn't they work as well?
There is a very good chance your sleep deprivation is caused by a combination of physiological and psychological factors. Providing you with sleep aids that you were aware of would have just increased the chance that you would overthink things.
What on earth are you talking about?
When people are suffering from insomnia, they can mentally work themselves into a sleepless state. This anxiety can be exacerbated when the patient has the knowledge that they are taking drugs to counteract it.
Worst case scenario, the knowledge that you were under the effect of sleeping tablets could have even compounded the issue. But you should have given me the option at least, for courtesy's sake.
I will always make the final decision for the sake of your well-being. Your anger is a side effect that I am willing to live with.
Er ist ein Psychopath. Er ist ein Psychopath. Er ist der Böse. Er ist der Böse. Das ist genau wie die KI. Das ist genau wie die KI mit, von wegen, ja, nur um die Ressourcen zu sparen. Es geht nur um das beste Befinden der Menschheit. Es ist mir scheißegal, was ich dafür machen muss. Erstens, schreib ihn gefälligst richtig, wenn du schon sein Fanboy-Simp bist. Und zweitens, nein. Get out. Oh.
What?
Get out. Oh. Okay, wir wollen gar nicht wissen, der hat uns nicht gedruckt. Das war ein Scherz. Das ist gar nicht passiert. Oh, danke dir,
It
Nicolas.
is nothing, really. I am the doctor on this ship, and everyone's well-being is my responsibility.
Nein, Alicia. Psychopathen können das genauso. Es kommt drauf an, was für Psychopathen das sind. I know, but still, thank you. I could see Nicholas blushing slightly as I turned my focus to the meal before me. Nicholas looked satisfied as I polished off the cheesecake and took my plate from me before I could lick it clean.
I hope you have a productive day. Let me know if you need anything else.
I will, thank you, Nicholas. Er hat mich nicht gedruckt, okay? Das war eine alternate reality und das stimmt gar nicht. Nicholas stacked my empty glass and plate and headed off. Wir ignorieren das jetzt, ja? Wir wollen ja noch bumsen. I felt more refreshed than I had in any recent day. I decided to head to the lab and attempt to make any headway with the pocket watch. I have a good feeling about it. Gib deine Liebe, dreckiger Blondie. Vielleicht hat er schon gebumst. Nee, das will er nicht machen. At the lab, I spread my work across the many tables that had been pulled together. Alright, Brain, we've got this. I know we do. I held the pocket watch in my hand, still as lifeless as it ever had been. I pressed the buttons again, hoping for something, anything new. My newfound good mood slipped away from me quickly. People were literally dying on my watch. The solution was right here in my hands. Yet I was somehow too stupid to put the pieces together. Dieses Dying on my watch, ist das einfach nur ein Wortspiel wegen der Time Watch? Perhaps I needed to take a different approach, a less scientific approach. I raised the watch to my mouth. Ja, aber Empathie ist ja nichts, was einem Psychopathen fehlen muss. Das sagt sie oft. Ja, Kimiko auch. Hi, Watch, it's me. If you could just, work, I would really appreciate it and would be sure to give you the best treatment from now on. I stroked the watch, comforting it, then tried to press the buttons again. Ah, du brave Uhr. You have made yourself a powerful enemy this day, Watch.
If I knew science involved nothing but gentle verbal persuasion, I would be a famous physicist already.
Sag mal, ist der mein Stalker geworden? Nicholas, what are you doing here?
I came to see if you would join me for the evening.
Oh, why?
I guess I find your company somewhat enjoyable.
Somewhat? Wo ist eigentlich Beatrix? Everyone does. I rolled my eyes at Nicholas, who appeared to be enjoying himself.
But does everyone offer you the same opportunities I do?
Dass du mir Drogen... hat er ja gar nicht. Alles gut. Käsekuchen vorbeibringst, das war nett. And what exactly are these opportunities you speak of?
Unlimited healthcare, for starters. I also offer round-the-clock house calls.
For when I'm sick?
I will be at your beck and call, regardless of health.
Warte, stopp. Hat er gerade zugegeben, dass er immer bei mir sein wird? Ich werde dich nie verlassen. Hat er das gerade... I could feel my cheeks blush conspicuously. There was no point even trying to hide it. Opportunities aside, what would this evening look like, were it to happen?
I was hoping to lure you in with the prospect of dinner, followed by a private serenade if, and only if, you were on your best behavior.
And if I'm not?
I think I might even prefer this option.
You had me at beck and call.
I am glad.
Also wir können den nicht allein lassen. Komm, also wir müssen. Ja, also wir müssen. So when's dinner?
It is ready whenever you are.
Alright, give me 10 minutes to pack up here and I will meet you in the dining hall.
Perfection.
Nicholas left swiftly to complete his preparations while I turned my attention to packing up my parents' work. It took me only a fraction of the time to put it away than it had to take it out. Finally, only the pocket watch was left sitting there. I'll give you one more chance. I slipped it into my pocket and enthusiastically walked to the dining hall. Also eigentlich müsste es jetzt Bumsi Bumsi geben, weil das ist ungefähr der, das erkläre ich besser so. Hier. Das war, glaube ich, mit Katashi. Und hier ist Override, ne? Und der Strang hier war mit Kimiko. Und die haben wir gebumst. Katashi haben wir nie gebumst. Das war mit Beatrix. Und hier ist Nicholas. Das heißt, eigentlich müssten wir gleich bumsen. Upon arrival, I found the table practically creaking under the sheer weight of food.
I hope you enjoy pasta.
Geil. I do. It looks like you might as well. Nicholas pulled out a chair for me before making his way to the opposite side of the table and taking his seat. Oh.
I certainly do. My mother taught me how to make it. This is all handmade.
Oh, really?
Yes. She taught me that the best way to a man's heart is through his stomach was in fact wrong. It should have been a woman's heart.
Richtig! Oh mein Gott! Der weiß zu viel. Der ist gefährlich. Können wir ihn umbringen? Der ist zu gefährlich. Das ist, als ob er für mich gemacht worden wäre. Because we like to eat?
Good heavens, no. A man who can cook for a woman is much more desirable than a man who cannot. So she made sure to teach me how to cook.
I like your mother's thinking.
I thought you would. My mother was also a strong woman.
Hat mich gerade Strong Woman genannt? Nicholas smiled warmly as he lifted his glass to make a toast.
May we overcome life's problems one die at a time.
I laughed uncontrollably. He was doing his best to ruin the romantic tension. One die at a time. We clinked our glasses together and tucked into dinner. I twirled some pasta onto my fork in the traditional style. What else did your mother teach you how to cook?
This is the full extent of my portfolio.
Ist okay, Nudeln mag man immer. She didn't teach you anything else?
She told me that not everyone is supposed to be able to do everything, and that I should leave the majority of the cooking to Katashi and the Ikari family.
Yes, Ikari? His mother's advice was starting to make sense. This mouthful was certainly an experience. Was? Er kann nicht kochen, nein. Oh nein.
How is it? It is so good that you are lost for words, just like my mother always was.
Nicholas beamed proudly as I forced my grimace into the semblance of a smile. I don't think I have ever had anything as terrible in my mouth as I did right then, and I had lived on dehydrated meals for most of my life. Nein, Dex, kann halt immer noch nicht kochen. I had to distract myself with some conversation quickly. I couldn't hold up this charade for long. So, do you like being a doctor?
That is a very interesting question.
Nein, total überhaupt nicht.
I believe I do.
Is there a different role that you would like? What is the best part of being a doctor? Is sharing the doctor role with Beatrix fun? Kannst auch gleich nach den Doktorspielchen fragen.
Fun would be a stretch.
Nicholas laughed lightheartedly.
I love my sister, but sometimes I feel that I do a lot more work than she does.
Hallo, Fladinator. I think that feeling might be justified.
That being said, when there is an emergency, she is much more reliable than I am.
Really?
Yes, apparently she thrives on the pressure.
Maybe she finds routine medicine too boring.
I think so too.
So if I am bleeding out, call for Beatrix. Nicholas laughed in agreement, but I could see he was a tiny bit miffed. Any major downsides to being a doctor?
Not particularly.
That's rather a mundane answer.
Well, I have come to blows before. In a manner of speaking, yes. I do not think it is particularly interesting, but it is the only real negative experience I have had.
I'll be the judge of that.
What I tell you never finds its way back to Beatrix, okay? Very well. Years ago, Katashi had a minor concern. He had run out of strawberries or something equally trivial.
Okay, das ist jetzt die Geschichte, wie er sich die Nase gebrochen hat, ne?
Anyway, he wanted to inform the captain, but I asked him to leave it for a day as it was the anniversary of the death of the captain's father.
Oh, Father. Entschuldigung, war zu schnell. I couldn't yet predict where this was going.
Even after knowing this, Katashi was adamant that he would inform the captain, claiming that he was to report food stock depletion immediately upon occurrence. I stepped in front of him and demanded that he wait till the next day. He told me to move, or he would move me by force.
Okay, welche Story ist jetzt richtig? You didn't move, did you?
Absolutely not. His inconsequential report would have caused more strain to the captain's mental health than was necessary.
Ist er jetzt der Gute oder Beatrix? Nee, Beatrix hat nicht gelogen. Beatrix hat nicht gelogen. Er lügt uns an.
He punched me.
Hä, was? Ich hab einmal gedrückt. So what happened?
He punched me.
And then?
I returned the favor.
Did you win?
We both wound up with black eyes and multiple abrasions. However, he did not report to the captain in the end, so I guess I won the moral victory.
Ich trau dem halt nicht. Haha, that definitely sounds like a victory to me. Wait.
Yes.
Vielleicht ist es auch wieder so, dass er halt in einem Strang scheiße ist, im anderen nicht, aber Why can't I tell Beatrix about this?
Oh, that. Well, when Beatrix noticed my black eye, I may have told her that we were fighting over her behavior and not the captain.
Okay, ich nehm's zurück. Ich nehm's zurück. Das macht Sinn. Weil, wenn du das Ego von Beatrix streichelst, dann ist sie eher so, dass sie Verständnis hat, als wenn du sagst, ja, es ging um Kimiko und ich wollte nicht, dass er böse zu ihr ist oder ihre Gefühle noch mehr verletzt. Why lie?
Beatrix has very little time for the captain, so I did not see any reason to divulge the truth. Besides, she was thrilled at the idea of me getting punched for her.
Classic Beatrix. We continued to talk, sharing stories all evening, so long that I almost forgot about the promised serenade before it was too late.
Oh dear, look at the time. We had best turn in for the night.
I guess you're right.
Do not fret. The serenade is simply postponed for now.
I look forward to... Nein!
I'd best practice beforehand. I would hate to disappoint.
You disappoint? I highly doubt it. I stood up and moved towards the door.
Good night.
Was? Good night. I smiled all the way back to my quarters. Nicholas was so much fun to spend time with, but he couldn't cook to save his life. Because I had avoided eating during dinner, I was now pretty hungry, and Nicholas was still in the kitchen cleaning up, so that was out of the question. Guess I was going to bed hungry tonight. I began preparing for bad stomach rumbling in. I took the pocket watch out and placed it, glaube ich, on the bedside table when I saw it. What's this? A note attached to a small package was sitting there. I read the note out loud. Luna, thank you for putting up with Nicholas cooking. He's a muffin to tide you over until breakfast. Beatrix. Oh, können wir doch Beatrix nehmen? Oh. She had snuck me food. Beatrix, you were the best. I opened the well-wrapped package and devoured the small chocolate muffin sitting nestled inside. It was delicious beyond words. Stomach now satisfied, I slipped into bed and drifted off to sleep. Oh, aber warum weiß sie Bescheid? Das ist so gruselig. Es ist, als ob man zwei Personen datet, aber nur eine davon wirklich. Und die andere weiß aber genauso viel.
I would like to welcome everyone to the ring this evening.
Hä?
In the left corner, sporting the German shorts, Nicholas Vogel.
Deutschland!
And in the right corner, in the fetching Japanese shorts, Katashi Ikari.
Ja, May, jetzt schon nicht mehr. Ding, ding! I opened my eyes, and to my amazement, I could see Nicholas and Katashi fighting. All the crew members were cheering them on, even Yoshiki. Then Nicholas landed a left hook and forced Katashi to his knees. Wie scheiße bin ich eigentlich? Katashi ist tot, Yoshiki ist tot. Beide leben. Was ist mit Sora? Die wiederbelebe ich nicht? Wow. Seeing Katashi and Yoshiki alive, even if Katashi was getting his butt kicked, filled me with joy. Missy, warum haben alle Frauen so einen tollen Körper? Ja, Sora ist auch die einzige, die wirklich am Anfang gestorben ist. Das ist halt unausweichlich, glaube ich, der Tod. I woke up and joy draining away like an emptying bath. The joy, Entschuldigung. I sat up feeling only disappointment at the sad reality when I realized my sheets were wrapped in a green glow. Hä? My eyes followed the glow to the source on the bedside table. The pocket watch. My disappointment evaporated as my heartbeat thrummed deafeningly in my ears. Six-pack is too mainstream, ich hab 9-pack. I was speechless, finally a sign that my work was paying off. I leapt out of bed, snatching up the precious watch, trying not to drop it out of pure excitement. Okay. Ihr wisst ja, wir müssen wieder springen, wieder nicht springen. Wir drücken. I didn't even hesitate and pressed the buttons. As soon as my finger made contact, everything went black. Können wir aufhören mit der Schulglocke? Push the button and let me know. I rolled on the floor, clutching my stomach as I felt waves of incredibly nausea. I opened my eyes, observing that I was lying on the floor of my quarters. Sitting up against the side of my bed, I attempted to swallow down the nausea. I sat breathing heavily for a few moments when I was interrupted by two men running into my room, locking the door behind them. Both were panting, their backs to the door with similarly panicked expressions.
Is she still following us?
Ist es Nathaniel? Der Blaue, der gehört mir. Ich nehme ihn. Zubi. Wer ist Zubi und wer ist Nathaniel?
Zubi, get a hold of yourself.
Der ist Nathaniel.
Nathaniel, she killed Yoshiki. She killed her. Where next?
Wer ist Zubi?
Not if we get a grip. I need you to stay with me here.
Huh? What's going on? I wobbled to my feet as the two men spun to face me. The one named Zubi turned white as a ghost, while Nathaniel looked utterly bewildered. Bewildered. Luna? Yes?
I don't want to alarm you, but we just watched you die.
How did I die? Never mind that though. I had done it. I had changed dimensions.
So the pocket watch worked.
Warum kann ich nicht ihn haben? Wieso statt Yoshiki ihn? Wait, you know about it?
Sure I do. I worked with you in the lab. Well, our version of you at least. I'm quite familiar with the theory.
Wir haben jemanden, der Ahnung hat. So, you believe me?
100%.
Bleib einfach in der Dimension. Kann ich noch mal kurz zurück Nikolas holen und dann... Naja. Obwohl wahrscheinlich Nikolas tötet alle. So what's going on right now?
The captain...
What's wrong with the captain? Is she okay?
She's never looked healthier.
Ach so.
Everyone else, on the
Ja, der
other
Captain
hand...
bringt wieder Leute um, das ist gut. What do you mean?
She's killing everyone.
Ja, das ist normal. Yoshiki ist tot bestimmt, ne? What?
We don't know why, but she just started killing people this morning. We're hiding from her right now.
Kimiko is killing people?
I saw her stab you to death in the lab with my own eyes.
Vielleicht sollte ich lieber den Blauhaarigen mit in meine Dimension nehmen. Ouch. I wonder what I did to deserve that.
I don't think any of us did anything that would deserve that.
The PA came to life, the captain's voice filling the quarters.
I know you were on the ship.
Hä? How does she know I'm here?
Confused? You are still not even half the man mine was.
Ich bin ja auch eine Frau, du dumme Tusse. Man?
Come out of your quarters and allow me to kill you. I will spare the other two.
Kimiko will mich überall töten, warum?
Hate to throw you under the bus, but that sounds like a pretty good deal from where I'm standing.
Gar keiner mehr, es war nur ein Traum.
We can't just throw her to the wolves. Would you rather fight the wolf yourself?
Hä, das ist eine Frau. Wir sind eine Frau und zwei Männer. Wir werden es ja wohl hinkriegen. The two men stood considering their options as I attempted to defend myself. Hey, come on now. If there are three of us, we should be able to take on the captain. Also mein Hauptcharakter und ich, wir linken schon ganz gut.
I am still waiting.
Da, 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 da.
You're right. We outnumber her 3-1.
Da ein bisschen. Ja, Dex, aber das Komische ist, wir wissen ja gar nicht, ist es jetzt die ganze Zeit rumspringt? Ist sie es nicht? Ich blick nicht mehr durch.
Alright, let's face her together.
We unlocked the door and the three of us stepped out in the hallway. The captain couldn't be seen.
Nathaniel? Zubi? What is happening?
Wieso wird der jetzt
Report
mit O
at
geschrieben?
once.
Der wurde erst Zubi mit U geschrieben und jetzt wird er Zubi mit OO geschrieben. We spun on our heels to face the captain. She seemed confused.
We won't let you kill her.
What?
Zubi und Nathaniel both... Ach so. Okay, das ist die Psychokillerin, die durch die Dimension springt. Okay. Zubi and Nathaniel both looked at the captain, and after a short scuffle, the two men managed to subdue the captain. They stood on either side of her, holding her arms tightly behind her back. She was visibly fuming.
What is the meaning of this?
You told me to come into the hallway so you could kill me.
What? I never asked for such a thing.
Okay, die ist wieder aus einer anderen Dimension, die Böse. If you didn't, then... Ruder!
No!
I felt a deep, searing pain in my neck. Suddenly my mouth was filling with fluid. I couldn't swallow it down. Was I drowning? As the warmth from the inside of my body spread to the outside, I felt someone's breath in my ear as they whispered.
Not even half the man he was.
Hold on. Hold on.
I saw the captain, Zubi, and Nathaniel all rush towards me as my body crumbled to the floor. Gut. Bin tot. Okay. Jetzt lieben wir die natürlich. After the game, natürlich. Falls wir jemals das Game spielen, ne? Ja, aber... What was I thinking? I had no idea what could happen if I pressed it. I must be going crazy. Emotionally motivated decisions were very rarely the right decisions. I took a deep breath and tried to collect my thoughts. There must be a way for me to make a more informed decision. Well, I guess that information is important for being informed. So who has the most information? I shook my head trying to clear it. It worked about as well as shaking a kaleidoscope to get a clearer view. I just need a second opinion. Two heads are better than one after all, and any one head is better than this one right now, that's for sure. I still wasn't sure if the watch being on was a permanent state, so I had better choose to pass. I eventually decided to go and wake Nicholas. Was? Surely he, of all people, would have the knowledge that could tilt the scales of deduction in the favor of logic and reason. I grabbed the pocket watch and headed out. Die tut mir auch echt nicht so gut. Ja, Kurt, darum geht's ja. Du sollst das Spiel nicht verstehen. Das Spiel will nicht verstanden werden, weißt du? Also wir sind jetzt hier. Das hat's gespeichert. Perfekt. Jump macht mich tot. Don't jump macht mich tot. Jump macht mich nicht tot. Jump macht mich tot. Jump macht ein komisches Ende. Outside the Vogel's room, I took a deep breath to calm my nerves before pressing the intercom button. This may not go smoothly. Excuse me, good morning, sorry, but can I please speak to Nicholas, please? I stood in the hallway for what felt like a century. Perhaps no one was coming. I almost felt relieved. As if in response, the door opened to reveal a very intimidating Beatrix, filling up the whole doorway. It was an understatement to say that she did not look happy.
Let me make this very clear, sailor.
I gulped. The threat in her voice was palpable enough to coax the sweat out of me unprompted.
There are only two ways that you can get away with waking me this early and not fear for your life.
I silently said my prayers, so this was how it ended.
First, if you were already dead. And seeing as I'm watching the blood drain from your face right now, that seems unlikely. 2, if you wanted to share my bed. So,
okay.
If you're here to show me a good time, have no fear and come on in. If not...
Beatrix left the sentence hanging there like a venomous cloud. I didn't dare to take a breath. Nicholas slid deftly past his sister, looking unimpressed with her.
Beatrix, I believe she came here for me.
Streitet ihr euch jetzt um mich?
She woke me in the process, so I need to be compensated somehow.
Beatrix glared at her brother and then fixed her penetrating gaze on me, knowing I was the easiest target.
So, how are you going to pay for my troubles, sailor?
Nikolas, kannst du mal in die Küche gehen und irgendwas zu essen machen oder so? Ich komme dann gleich nach.
Beatrix, I will handle this. And if her reasons for waking us are not sufficient, I will deal with her myself.
Hallo? At first I was relieved that Nicholas was saving me from his sister's wrath, but then I remembered what family I was dealing with here, and tempered my expectations somewhat.
Tisk.
Tisk.
Oh, I'm glad this is settled.
Nicholas watched her carefully as she unwillingly retreated back into the room.
Shall we take this elsewhere?
I nodded furiously, keen to get as far away from the room and its angry contents as possible.
The rec room should be free right now. I am quite fond of the armchairs.
A comfy armchair was just what I needed for my jelly legs right about now. Oh, Piston. Nicholas took a seat and then signaled with his hand that I should take a seat across from him.
Now, one thing I agree with Beatrix on is that I hope you have a very good reason for waking me.
I promise you I do.
Is it medical in nature?
Not quite. I guess that it does concern the health of everybody on board the ship ultimately, though.
Oh?
I saw that I had piqued his interest. It's about my parents' watch, about their research into dimensional travel. I handed the watch over to Nicholas, who delicately turned it over, inspecting it with great interest.
So, am I right to assume that these green lights indicate that the device has been activated somehow?
I think so.
Very interesting.
Gucci gucci goo! Nicholas handed the watch back to me and folded his arms, all focused now on me.
So, why am I here?
I haven't pressed the button since it became active.
And why does this concern me, of all people?
I guess I just wanted a second opinion. I honestly don't know what to do now. If you were me, would you press the button?
Very well. From my years of experience and medical expertise, I can confirm that what you have there is indeed a pocket watch.
Oh, haha. Do you have anything useful to say this time?
Might I suggest that it also has the ability to tell the time if you examine the relative positions of its hands?
This was clearly Nicholas' idea of making a joke. It would have been almost funny if not for the gravity of the situation. Seriously, I'm asking for help in dire times and all you're giving me is smart-arse remarks. Nicholas looked at me, smiling warmly.
You have already made your decision.
What can you possibly mean?
You already chose not to press the button. Whatever your reasoning may have been, it's already been done.
Ich hasse die ganzen Leute, die sagen alle das Gleiche.
You need to trust yourself more.
But how?
But nothing. If a time comes when you should push the button, that decision should be yours and yours alone.
And what if I'm wrong?
Right and wrong are subjective. I will support whatever decision you make, simply because it is your decision.
Der ist der netteste von allen. Er wird uns alle töten. Nicholas' unconditional support almost brought tears of gratitude to my eye. To think that a minute ago I was ready to strangle him for being so imperturbable.
Now, I hope you will support my decision to return to my quarters for some much-needed sleep.
Nein! As I nodded my assent, Nicholas got up, inclined his head in his front and left. I should probably get some more sleep too. The next round of the deletion game will require every advantage I can get. Advantage? Back in my room, I placed the pocket watch in the open bedside table drawer and retired to bed. Any worries that the new revelations with the pocket watch would prevent sleep were immediately proven unfounded.
Good morning, my most eager beavers. Today is, of course, the long-awaited round of the deletion game Vampire Children. If you could all please make your way to your individual quarters, I will be selecting my vampire.
What? I jerked into an upright position to check the time. It was just after 7 a.m. Moments later, Di appeared in front of me.
That's a great idea.
What is?
Catching up on your beauty sleep, of course.
There's more to me than just my appearance, Di.
That's what ugly people tell themselves to make them feel better. Good for you, ugly.
Having just woken up, I wasn't yet mentally fortified enough to handle this. If you come to insult me, mission accomplished. You can leave now.
Aww.
Dai looked at me with sorrowful puppy dog eyes.
Come on. I'm just playing around with you.
So you take back that bit about me being ugly?
Well, I'm not going to go that far.
I made the ugliest face that I could muster and held it until Dai exploded with laughter.
Okay, fine. You're not ugly. You just have a beauty that very few people understand.
No, you're just saying that.
In all seriousness, I only make fun of you because I like you so much.
Nah. Really?
Yup, and I'm here to prove it.
Oh god, ich werd Vampire. How?
By giving you the best role for the Vampire Children game, of course.
So I'm human?
No, I said that I like you.
Wait, so I'm the vampire?
Of course you are. My favorite little bloodsucker.
Aww. I struggled to see how this is a good thing. Dai seemed legitimately confused by my statement.
Being the vampire is the best role by far.
How?
Well, not only do you get to kill people in the game,
Not a good start.
but you also get to murder someone in real life, too.
Why would anyone besides you want to do that?
Ugh. Would you rather be the one getting murdered? I can arrange that for you if you want.
I decided that silence was the best answer to that one.
That's what I thought. Get out there and make Mama Die proud.
Mama Dai?
I made you, which makes me the elder vampire. Go forth and multiply, my child. Guess that means I'm going to be Grandma Die very soon. I'm so excited, but at the same time, I still look too young and beautiful to be a grandmother.
I sat only half listening to Dai at this stage. I was too preoccupied thinking about how I could turn this to my advantage. Dai was busy entertaining herself by pretending to be old. She hunched over and hobbled towards the door.
So long, dearie. Make sure to wear Granny's home-knitted cardigan. It's getting chilly out.
Out. Moments later, Dai's voice came over the ship's PA system.
Thank you all for your cooperation. You are now free to pass the time as you please. The game will commence in 2 hours. Good luck!
Ah! Great, now what? Okay, Brain, first things first. Should I partner with someone and if so, who should it be? Ja! Oh, ich kann wieder was... Können wir das jetzt diesmal wirklich spielen? Okay. Wir machen eh beides. Aber erst Partner oder erst Wolf? Also sind wir ein Vampir-Wolf oder sind wir ein Vampir-Vampir? Au! Ich sterbe 2. Nur wenn ich es verliere. Ich würde halt tatsächlich eher erst Solo machen wollen, aber naja. Ist egal. Das ist der Unterschied zwischen das Wolf-Vampir und Vampir-Vampir. Ich glaube nämlich auch, deswegen würde ich erst gerne Solo-Wolf machen. Ich bin so durchsichtig manchmal. Ja, das ist normal. Ich bin ein Schatten meiner selbst. The only person I can trust is me. I can't risk telling anyone that I'm the vampire. It felt terribly lonely saying it out loud, but it was the safest approach. It didn't make me feel any better about it, though. Before the game starts, I should have a shower. Wie oft ich hier dusche. I find it is a great way to clear one's mind. Suddenly, I appeared in my room. Naja, der Greenscreen ist nicht kaputt. Also, weil ich jetzt das Licht da nicht anhabe und ich noch nicht gescheit eingestellt habe. Making my way down the hallway was, though, tough going with all the lights off. Hello, Die? Anyone? As I continued walking, I saw that one room still had its light on. It looked to be the dining hall. I made a cautious approach.
I'm glad you finally arrived.
What the hell happened here? Dai sat at the head of the table with the entire crew draped over its length. Blood pooled on the surface and dripped in a rhythmic clink, clink onto the floor. The still bodies of the captain and Nicholas flanked Dai. Are they dead? I ran to Nicholas' side and checked for a pulse, my fingers slipping on the slick blood that coated him. Nothing.
Why did you do this?
What? I crawled over to Beatrix, frantically trying to check her vitals, but my hands now shook uncontrollably. I couldn't. Tears obliterated my vision as I approached the tiny form of Melody.
I don't like liars.
I'm not lying. Why would I do this? What did she have to gain from this? You have your sick deletion game already. Why kill everyone? Dai cocked her head in confusion. Was cocked? Cock? Was?
Me? Kill everyone?
Who else could have done this?
Well, firstly, I can't stabby people. Remember? No physical presence.
Her hands passed through Nicholas, making her point in a grisly fashion.
Second, my programming prevents me from harming the captain in any way.
Also entweder kam Kimiko, was ich nicht glaube, oder sie ist jetzt hart-lit und sie tut nur so. If this was true, she was right. She couldn't have been the one responsible, no matter how bad it looked when I walked in. So, if you didn't kill them, who did?
I have the exact same question. There's no one else alive on this ship. Interestingly enough, I was preparing for the upcoming game when I forced her way to the front, and during that time, this.
You think I did this? Als ob ich das machen würde. Quatsch, ich bin doch nicht aus einer anderen Dimension da, um alles zu töten.
Impossible and absurd. Even if we had the ability to touch people, she's too much of a goody two-shoes to kill people in cold blood, especially children.
Ich glaube auch, dass wir einfach gleich von Kimiko von hinten erstochen werden. Then who do you think did this?
I don't think anything. I know who did this.
Aber ich glaube eher, dass sie das war. Also ich glaube irgendwie, dass jetzt der Punkt kommt, dass man lernt, weil wir noch nie so weit im Strang waren, dass sie halt doch Sachen machen kann. Tell me.
You.
I can guarantee you it wasn't me.
If you're the only person on the ship left alive, it doesn't take a genius to work it out. The mission is over. Let me thank you for your time and relieve you of your post.
Nee, das wäre langweilig, Dominik. Dann kann sie es mir ja nicht in die Schuhe schieben. Also sie muss ja dann Tod wählen, wo man jemanden anfassen muss und wir denken ja, sie kann es nicht. No! Dining hall now in lockdown.
I enjoyed our time together, honestly. Killing so many of you was fun, but we're both surplus to requirements now.
What are you doing, Dai?
Nothing.
What does that mean? Warning. AI system set to go offline in 1 minute. Warning. Warning. AI system required to maintain life support. Warning.
You killed us all. Congratulations are in order, I suppose. You truly are a greater monster than I could ever hope to be.
Dai gave me a smile of Kameradschaft. She slowly dematerialized, leaving me alone but for the bodies of the crew. Dai's voice rang out over the PA system one last time.
Goodbye.
Okay. Also ich schätze, wir sollten vielleicht doch partnern. Ich weiß es nicht, Dominik. Nee, alleine macht es ja auch keinen Sinn. Dann können wir uns ja nicht fortpflanzen. It was becoming clearer that if I was to have any hope of winning this game, I needed a partner in crime. Who was the best candidate? Shizuka? Vladimir? Right now, I trusted Nicholas more than anyone else on this ship. Having him on my side would be vital to attaining victory today. I arrived to find them both outside their quarters, appearing unnaturally calm and unconcerned.
Oh, and what do we have here?
Hi, Beatrix. I was hoping I could have a word with Nicholas in private.
Sorry, Sailor. We're a package deal.
But...
Whatever you have to say, you can say to both of us.
Warum denn das jetzt plötzlich? Wir hatten auch das Dinner-Date nicht mit ihr.
If you truly trust me, you know that I trust my sister with my life and would ask you to do the same.
I hesitated, but then nodded when I realized that this was the only way that it was going to happen. I cleared my throat and swallowed hard. I'm the vampire.
Oh, sailor.
Ich weiß auch nicht, ob... I want to ask you, Nicholas, to be my partner. Nicholas smiled. Clearly, he seemed moved by my proposal.
I must say, a very poor choice of Vogel there.
She did her best to appear offended, but she couldn't maintain it for very long.
It's a pity, but I can't deny you have exceptional taste in men, sailor.
Beatrix trolled, making me turn several shades pinker than I was comfortable being.
Thank you for telling us. It means a lot that you trust us with this information, considering how it literally could mean your life or death.
May, das sind ja auch Geschwister, das sind Zwillinge. I nodded solemnly. This I already knew. I felt slightly better after he voiced his approval.
However, I think we will need to approach this game in a more lateral way than I probably planned for.
Huh?
What do you mean?
The crew will expect Beatrix and I to partner, regardless of our roles.
True. If we were vampires, we would partner. And if we were human, we would do the same.
Exactly. If we were to act any differently, we would garner suspicion.
Die betrügen mich.
Exactly.
Oh.
True.
What do you suggest?
I suggest that we work as a team of 3.
How do we do that?
Unfortunately, just playing as Bonnie and Clyde will not be enough to secure victory here. We'll have to play this smarter.
What do you suggest?
In round 2, one of us will breed with her, and the other will breed with her first-round victim.
That means we choose who dies?
Nicholas nodded. How does that work?
The first person you breed with will become a vampire unknowingly, and so will produce no human babies. They will be sentenced to death when we claim our victory.
It feels wrong to be consciously killing someone. They both ignored me.
Vladimir and Melody will certainly breed together, so they're out.
So, we get to
Vladimir and Melody will certainly breed together,
Es
so
sind
they're
Vater
out.
und Tochter.
So, we get to decide whether the captain or Shizuka will die.
The captain. Hands down.
I completely disagree. The captain is vital to the mission. Shizuka is disposable.
Yeah, but...
You decide.
Why me?
Choose who you will breed with first, and, by doing so, sentence to death.
I
You
can't.
have until the game begins to make your decision. Beatrix and I will respect your choice no matter who it is.
Also, Beauty Moon Unicorn das kann May gar nicht. Also, tut mir leid, aber also... Kimiko. Ja, nee. Erst Shizuka, weil ich glaube, dass es dann zu Ende geht. Wenn wir Kimiko, das ist das Bessere, weil Dai muss ja Kimiko retten. Deswegen, das ist das Krassere. Also wenn ich wirklich eine Entscheidungsfreiheit habe, dann nehme ich erst Shizuka.
It's best that you leave now, so the crew doesn't get suspicious.
Nicholas walked over to me and held my face in his hands, tilting it up to meet his eyes.
I know this is hard for someone with such a strong sense of morality, but you have to cast that aside for the greater good right now. There is time to mourn the lost later.
I nodded, my mind already running rampant with guilt, and I hadn't even made the choice yet.
Thank you for sharing with us. For sharing with me. Know that you have saved us, and that we do not easily forget a gesture like that.
Ich wollte einfach nur mit dir breeden, du Penner! For a moment my guilt vanished and I was lost in Nicholas' reassuring smile.
Now go. We will await your decision and react accordingly.
Der spielt doch nur mit mir, der nutzt mich doch nur aus, oder? Der sagt doch nur, der schmiert mir nur Honig ums Maul, der mag mich gar nicht. Nicholas gently kissed me on the forehead, then pushed me gently out. Was? Warte mal, das war schon viel zu viel. I almost fell over despite Nicholas' push being extremely light. I stood there, dazed for a minute before eventually collecting my wits and heading back to prepare myself. Nee, glaube ich nicht, Dex. Ich trau dem nicht. I arrived to find I waiting in my quarters.
We need to speak.
Oh, I, good morning.
I do not have long. Come to the server room.
I zapped out of my quarters, leaving me quite confused. I have never heard her sound quite so human. She seemed worried, a side of her I hadn't really seen before. I looked at my tablet to locate the server room. Das hatten wir doch auch. Ja, ich hab das Passwort immer noch nicht. Och Mann, ich dachte, wir können einmal spielen. Immer noch. Komm, das ist Astra. Astra. Input not recognized. Oh, I die anyone. Okay, jetzt haben wir das wieder.
I'm glad you finally arrived.
Okay. Ich glaube, wir kommen da einfach nicht weiter, oder? Ups. Aber was war hier mit? AstraZeneca. Ja, mit C statt K. Echt ätzend, ne? Aber es hieß, das Passwort ist etwas, das wir schon längst wissen. Keine Ahnung. Selbst wenn wir es schon könnten, ist okay.
Thank you for your selection, and thank you for choosing Die's Deletion Game as your...
Warte mal, wer ist hier tot? Beatrix. Okay, okay. Okay.
Please exit the room.
Nee, es war irgendwas mit Astra. Wir haben die Worte
I'm
Astra.
sorry,
gekriegt.
Nicholas.
Nicholas didn't even acknowledge her. Still raw from Beatrix's death, he continued to gently rock his sister in his arms.
Can you please see to Nicholas's hand injuries before turning in for the night?
Ich? Yes.
Everyone go and get some rest. Dismissed.
Ja, hoffe ich. With those words, the crew splintered into different directions and cleared the hallway. Nicholas, do you want me to help?
No, I'm fine.
Es ist jetzt so komisch, weil er jetzt nicht mehr so nett sein will zu mir. Nicholas stood up, carrying his sister in his arms, and slowly made his way to the medical bay. Dies kann nicht sein, wir haben die Worte Astra bekommen. I followed behind him in silence. When we reached the medical bay, he carefully placed his sister down onto one of the beds. I need to tend to your hands.
Fine.
Nicholas, please, it was the captain's orders.
Fine.
Although Nicholas held his hands out towards me, he never took his eyes off his sister. I washed the wounds and dressed them as best as I could. Do you need anything else before I go to bed?
No, thank you. I'll see you tomorrow.
Hä, mit seinen Händen ist doch gar nichts. Yeah, okay, good night.
Good night.
I left the medical bay and headed towards my quarters. I lay on my bed restlessly, trying to sleep. Beatrix's selfless sacrifice was still far too fresh in my mind to allow me to rest. Schwierig. Eigentlich müsste jetzt Yoshiki und Shizuka, aber Shizuka steht, glaube ich, nicht auf Frauen. When I woke up Monday morning, I felt flat and tired. Beatrix's death was still fresh in my mind, and so was the thought of another death soon to come if Dai had her way. Vielleicht ist jetzt auch einfach Kimiko und Nicholas. Nochmal. I needed a smile. After getting dressed, I decided to find someone who could cheer me up. I needed someone fun and playful who wouldn't let our bleak situation get them down. Two immediately came into my mind. Yoshiki was an optimist who always found reasons to smile, and Shizuka I could count on to play a game with me. To take my mind off things, but which one? Ernsthaft? Ernsthaft? Jetzt sind's doch die beiden? Och Mann, oh. Shizuka would know how to distract me, and she'd probably welcome the opportunity to play a game. She was pretty competitive and always complaining that no one wanted to play games against her. I made my way to her quarters and knocked. There was no reply. I knocked again, but she still didn't answer. I checked the time. It was already 9:30 a.m. I'd gotten up late. Is she still asleep? Panic washed over me. Is she dead? I appeared beside me.
Officer Himura is not dead. She is asleep.
A little late to still be in bed. I hope she's alright. I smiled reassuringly and left. I knocked again. Maybe she was sick or she'd had a rough night. Since I was there, it seemed right to check up on her. After my fourth knock, the door opened and I entered the quarters. Shizuka had clearly just rushed to put her uniform on. It was a little messy.
Huh?
Space Invaders! Sorry I didn't come here to wake you, but I told me you were still asleep and I thought you might be sick or something.
Sick?
Yeah, sorry, just wanted to see if you were okay. Shizuka sat on the bed, blinking at me with blurry eyes.
Just sleeping.
Okay.
Why do you come?
Oh, I just needed to smile, so I thought maybe we could play a game. Shizuka instantly went from confused and sleepy to attentive and interested.
A game? What game?
How about something simple for now? Scissors, paper, rock?
Okay, but I'm pretty good at this.
You think so? Ha! It's on. Best of 3 rounds.
Bring it on.
We count together. 1, 2, 3. Ah! Ich muss wirklich spielen in dem Spiel. Wartet, wir müssen sie besiegen. Ist mir egal. Papier. I threw my hand out flat for paper. Shizuka threw scissors. Warum? Nein. Nochmal. I threw a rock and Shizuka played scissors. She narrowed her eyes at seeing that she'd lost the fight round. I thought you were supposed to be good at this.
Oh, I'm not even playing seriously yet.
That's an original way to describe losing.
You'll see. I'm about to get serious.
Alright, let's go again.
I've got this.
1, 2, 3. I played paper with... Warum denn schon wieder scissors? Spiel die nur scissors. Okay. I played rock and saw immediately that it had paid off. Shizuka had played scissors again. Ha! Victory is mine.
Playing scissors twice. That was a rookie move. But I've got you this time.
Deswegen habe ich Paper, weil normalerweise macht man immer Stein oder so. Man erwartet, dass jemand Schere nimmt. Sure you do.
Okay, let's do this.
I'm gonna destroy you.
We'll see about that.
1, 2, 3.
A tie.
Oh, was? We both showed our moves and we were both paper. What?
A tie.
A tie.
Now let's count the scores.
Heads, I win. Tails, you lose.
Oh no! It looks like I beat you. I told you I was good. Or maybe you're just bad at the game. Or is it both? You tell me, loser.
Wow, you're so winner. Warum hat sie gewonnen?
But I am a winner.
You'd rather be a smug winner than a... Hä? Hallo, Patrick. Hä, warum?
But
Stopp.
Now, a tie.
Was?
Oh, I'm not even... Oh, you'll see. I'm about to get serious.
Weil wir-
Okay, let's do this. We'll see about that.
I played scissors and Shizuka played paper. She groaned.
Excuse me, scissors is my favorite, my signature move. How dare you, you cheater!
Warum hat sie gewonnen, wenn wir 2 Runden gewonnen haben und eine also... Hä?
Now let's count the scores. Oh no! It looks like I beat you. I told you I was good. Or maybe you're just bad at the game. Or is it both? You tell me, loser. I've got. You'll see. Oh. Maybe. We'll. Too predictable. Now let's count the scores. Oh no! It looks like I beat you. I told you I was good. Or maybe you're just bad at the game. Or is it both? You tell me, loser.
Also wenn ich so oder so beleidigt werde, dann bin ich lieber wirklich die verloren hat, okay? Wow, you're so a winner.
But I am a winner.
You'd rather be a smug winner than a polite loser? Shizuka looked outraged. wouldn't even ask the question. That I wouldn't even ask the question.
Duh.
I was right. Playing with Shizuka had cheered me up. Well, it was fun playing with you. 9.
Yahoo! Everyone's favorite AI system is here. My, it's a beautiful day, isn't it? It would be such a shame if someone were to mention the deletion game.
What the?
Ahem. Could I please have all crew report to the dining hall for brief?
Das kennen wir ja schon. I guess we should go. Shizuka looked down at what she was wearing. She was missing a sock at the very least.
I better put more clothes on. Dye is enough. I don't want to aggro the captain, too.
I'll wait outside and we can go together. Better hurry, though.
Yeah, Dai does sound more psycho than usual today.
I went outside into the corridor to wait. Shizuka was very quick and probably cut a lot of corners because she was out with her uniform on, and her hair sort of brushed within a couple of minutes. Just as we were about to head off, Yoshiki came into the corridor and saw us.
Good morning, I guess.
Morning, anyway.
What do you think the next game's going to be like?
They're not very good games. So far, there's been barely any strategy to them at all. It's just guessing and good luck and hoping no one tries to screw you on purpose.
I think Dai just likes scaring everyone. It doesn't matter so much about the game.
She could just pick someone at random. She enjoys dragging it out. So, jetzt ist ja wieder... Mo und Nicholas sit
Good
down.
morning, good morning. Wow, Nikki, that's a new look for you.
Jetzt heißt er Nikki, oder was?
I'm not a fan. Now, ladies, gentlemen, and whatever the kid is, it's time to play the deletion game. All right, I can't hold in the excitement any longer. Welcome to round 4 of the deletion game, bidding war. I have teamwork. So the game will be played, and the bidding. Now, would you like me to?
Also Bidding Wars kennen wir jetzt,
and
okay?
Now, remember,
Also
now
wer?
and Team B will be Katashi, Vladimir,
Nicholas ist
Melody,
in meinem-
and Team A will be you. And now, remember at
What happened?
Okay, wir
I can
haben
do it.
Shizuka.
I'll be captain.
no.
Nein, ich werde
I'll take-
Captain.
Guess
That
She can't be captain. She is terrible at games.
Standing right here. But how can we strategize when we don't know what they'll do? Maybe we can predict.
I'll
Das ist ja
explain
egal.
it. So there's 4 players on each team.
Das ist,
So-
komm, wir müssen das,
What?
also Entschuldigung.
It's simple. I don't.
Ich
And
hasse
maybe
Shizuka.
a shower.
Mann, das hasse ich so sehr. Ich habe keine Lust, mir ein drittes Mal das Gelaber über dieses eine Spiel anzuhören, was wir schon 10 Millionen Mal gehört haben. Auch wenn es vielleicht mini andere Änderungen an den Dialogen sind. Ich habe keine Lust, mir das nochmal anzuhören. Deswegen hasse ich es, dass es immer das gleiche Spiel ist. Oh. As a pocket watch, Yoshiki was an engineer, so he might be the best person to understand the problem, but he wasn't exactly the most focused person. Shizuka was very, very determined when she decided to do something, so maybe if I presented the watch to her as a sort of puzzle game, I could get her interested. Or there was Nicholas. Maybe if I asked him for help, it would give him something to focus on and help him keep it together after Beatrix's death. Auf jeden Fall Nicholas. Nicholas was a smart man and maybe he could use a distraction. My tablet said he was in the medic bay, so it seemed like he was back to work at least. Wahrscheinlich ist es... Oh Gott, ich habe so Angst davor. Dass diese Sachen zwar nicht den Zeitstrang ändern, aber uns sowas wie Passwörter verraten. Wenn wir mit den... Also wenn wir jetzt Yoshiki das Teil zeigen würden, dass er irgendwas rausfinden würde. Zum Beispiel wäre echt cool, ja. But when I arrived, I found him sitting still and staring off into space. His hands were still wrapped up to protect his injured hands. Nicholas looked so sad and lost that it was almost painful even to look at him. Nicholas? He didn't answer me and just kept staring across the room. I took a few steps closer. Nicholas turned around to face me properly.
What do you want?
Was willst du? I hadn't expected him to speak so suddenly or so coldly. He didn't sound angry exactly, just flat and dead. I understand that you're having a really hard time since you lost your sister, but I really value your opinion, and so I have come to ask you if you can help me with something.
You value my opinion. I can't even save my sister's life. I can't even save my sister's life.
I can't be that smart or
Can't be
useful.
that smart or useful, can I?
Was für eine lange Pause war das? I needed to get Nicholas out of his funk. We were still in a perilous situation and we had a new game to win. But how to snap him out of it? Harsh or more gentle? Or something in between? Beatrix be happy if she saw you right now. Beatrix didn't die for you to give up hope. Nikki, oh nein. Officer Vogel, this moping behavior is unacceptable. I expect more of you. Go wash your face, take a breather for science sake. Change your shirt and get back here and be the useful Nicholas I know. There was a moment of tension as he took in what I said and I waited to see if it would pay off. Then he smiled. Without saying anything, he left and I wasn't sure if he was planning to come back. I took a seat on a bed and looked at the pocket watch. Even though I'd examined it 100 times, I still kept thinking that maybe this time I'd seen something new or have some game-changing revelation. Just like always, I didn't. It was probably not even 10 minutes before Nicholas came back. He was looking more composed, more like his usual self. His hair and face were tidy, though he still needed to shave. He had changed his shirt and looked and smelled much better.
Thank you. I really needed that.
Yeah. You're welcome. I understand that sometimes you just need someone to push you a little.
So, why did you come?
Guck,
What
er
did
ist
you
wieder
want to
normal. It's this. I showed him the pocket watch and let him look at it.
It's nice. Is it supposed to be retro? Or genuine vintage?
Ich glaube, wir sollten es angucken. I don't know. I found it in my parents' research files. The notes suggest that it has something to do with traveling from one dimension to another.
So, there are more than two.
Two? There's only this one. Why would there be another one? The work my parents did was pretty out there.
I just assumed. If they're for traveling or communicating between realities, it makes sense for them to have a partner.
Hä, das letzte Mal hat er uns aber nicht geholfen.
Like walkie-talkies. There's a second one in the set.
That's intriguing. I hadn't thought about that possibility at all.
Maybe it isn't working because something's wrong with its partner.
Also interesting. See, I knew you'd have some useful insight.
Not a problem. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get back to work.
Very happy to. I will see you soon. We need to talk strategy for the new game. Nicholas nodded and glad to finally have him back and focused on saving our lives, I went back to my quarters. It was time to summon Ai and talk about deactivating her evil twin. Ja, das ist halt der Boy und das Girl, jeweils eine haben. I sat on the bed with the papers and tablets sprawled over the bed. Nothing. Still nothing. Ah, this is so frustrating. Okay, ja gut. Jetzt kommt Ai und sagt, ja, ja, hier, und dann können wir unser Tablet.
I'm glad you are pleased. I must return.
Gut. Deactivated from any tablet, ja genau. We need to work this out. Es ist halt storytechnisch von den wichtigen Sachen immer das Gleiche. Leider. I had a restless and confusing night, full of dreams about Dai and the deactivation code. It felt like the answer was right there, so close that I could touch it. But it just kept missing it somehow. I could never quite grip it, and because I couldn't, Dai was going to murder every last person on the ship, one by one. Ja, ist echt schade. Ich glaube, wir gehen nochmal zu Shizuka. Was ist die? I don't care what it was a game. Okay, ich wollte sagen, wir skippen einfach, aber okay. Shizuka was probably fast asleep. She definitely wasn't the most energetic member of the crew. At least not unless there was a game to be won. The kind of game that was winnable, of course, not the deletion game. I arrived at her quarters and saw that her door was unlocked. If she wasn't awake, she ought to be, so I called out. She didn't answer and poked my head in. To see if I needed to summon Ai to give her a wake-up call. I didn't have the courage to wake her myself. Hello, Nito! As soon as I saw her, I stepped fully into the room to make sure I was really seeing what I thought I was. She was crawling across the floor with the game controller in her mouth. I could see her underwear. I don't think I've ever played the game before. And she grabs panties! She took the controller out of her mouth and fake pouted.
Hey, look at your own panties!
Well, we all have the same ones, issued to every woman on board, so technically I did kinda look at my own. Shizuka gave this a moment's thought.
You're probably right.
What do the guys wear? Shizuka shrugged.
I don't know. I never do laundry. Except that one time when I shrank some of the crew's blazers. The captain was furious and banned me from ever washing again. Such a tragedy.
I wouldn't have been shocked if she had shrunk the blazers on purpose, and the way her eye gleamed made me suspect she possibly had. Normal, oder? Wenn man sich dumm anstellt, muss man es nicht mehr machen. I'm worried about this new game of dice. You're the game expert. Do you think we'll be okay?
Of course. I've never lost a game yet, and I'm not about to. I'm not usually a fan of multiplayer, you know. But I like my teammates, and I think we make a good mix. I think we'll all be okay.
I hope I can be as confident as you. Shizuka smiled.
Come on, sit down and watch me play. This is supposed to be a really atmospheric game.
I decided to take her up on that offer, so I sat down on her bed while she changed the game on her console. Maybe the game would be distracting enough to take my mind off my nightmares. It gave me new nightmares. Yay!
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Ah, what the hell? Ja, Banane, ich soll da rein, schon klar.
Hey, watch it!
Okay, I nearly walked straight into Shizuka. Was haben wir diesmal angestellt, dass wir früher spielen müssen?
Hey, watch it!
Sorry, what's going on? What does Dai want?
I figure someone broke the rules. You know, about not talking to the other team?
But who would do that? Shizuka shrugged.
Guess we better go find out.
Wieder Melody. When we arrived at the dining hall, Nicholas was there, along with the captain and Katashi on the other side of the room. What's going on? Does anyone know?
Katashi and I spoke.
What? Why would you do that?
It was an accident. I didn't think. I went into the kitchen, basically walked right into Katashi. I apologized before I remembered.
How could you be so stupid? You can check who's in a room anytime you want. You should have seen he was in there.
I didn't think to check. It was so early that I...
If the whole team gets punished for this, I'll...
Now.
Okay.
Her as
I...
Bla 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 bla. Wir spielen jetzt das Spiel.
Like, it...
you will you're at the
So, schön. Also. Wir müssen irgendwie das schaffen, dass erstmal jemand anderes als uns stirbt. Also ich werde erstmal versuchen, uns viele Punkte zu geben, damit wir von dem Punkt zurückgehen können.
Everyone supports our team captain, right?
Aber warte mal. Ich speichere das ab. Glaube ich einfach ab.
Everyone supports our team captain, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Ja, auf geht's.
Thank you for your entry. Please.
So.
See? How good am I?
Wonderful start, if you would. And it was a close one, but Team B is leading the charge.
Aber es ist noch winnable, okay? Es ist nur 7:8.
Team A, you are up again. You're one.
Okay, jetzt haben wir... Oh nein, jetzt weiß ich nicht, was das Neue ist, weil wir das andere nicht gemacht haben. Ich gebe mir Punkte.
Thank you for your entry. Please exit the dining hall. If really? Tie.
Okay.
The probability of this is
Please.
Team.
Wir können immer noch gewinnen, das ist ja traurig.
You're five.
This is...
Okay.
Congratulations. Let's get straight.
Wir haben gewonnen? Okay.
Congratulations, Team A! After 3 rounds, you have come out victorious. And that means, Team B, you lose.
Also wir gucken uns das
Congrats!
Tode an und dann spielen wir das andere Spiel. I'm so sorry.
Enough of that. Now for the prize winner. Congratulations, Katashi! All right, well, let's get to it. But first, just let me take the time to really congratulate all of our winners and our losers. Isn't teamwork just the greatest?
Shizuka's face swelled with grief as she approached Katashi and grabbed hold of one of his shirt sleeves.
Oh no! Our winning wasn't supposed to sentence you to death!
I don't ever believe you meant for me to die, kiddo.
No! Please, anyone else!
Katashi patted Shizuka on the head as she began to weep.
I should have lost. Then you would still be okay!
Kiddo, you were never gonna lose. Games are your thing.
Should have lost on purpose!
No, you shouldn't have. You had your team to protect. You did a wonderful job. I wish Team B...
Es gibt immer Oh, manchmal zweimal.
I was Team B's captain, and I would gladly die to protect my team.
Katashi!
Irgendwie ist Katashi der, von dem man am wenigsten mitkriegt.
Some games you win, some games you lose. In my case, it's usually lose.
Also bis auf den ganz letzten Strang war nie was mit Katashi. Katashi let out a hearty laugh before the captain interrupted.
I'm sorry, Katashi.
I know this.
Ja, ist jetzt egal, ne?
Yes, I agree. Oh, how fitting, Katashi. You're going to be cooked to death.
Es gibt gebratenen Katashi.
Can't come up with anything new, eh, Dai?
Excuse me?
I'm not the first person to die from being cooked.
Katashi, don't be insensitive.
The captain placed a reassuring hand on the back of Melody's head. Melody was planted firmly at Kimiko's side, grabbing tight to the captain's legs with both arms. Katashi glanced sheepishly at Melody before meeting the captain's gaze.
Sorry about that. I'm about to die, though. So can you forgive me this once, Captain?
Katashi looked at the captain playfully.
Of course.
The captain did her best to force a smile.
I will have you know, Mr. Space Farmer. Not that that is even a real job. I have arranged a way to cook you without needing to resort to what happened last time.
Sushi May.
Oh?
You know, I spend so much time every week trying to come up with interesting ways for you all to die. And this is the thanks I get? You know I am not phoning this in, right? Why does no one appreciate my creativity?
Dai's anger suddenly turned to tears.
I even spend hours designing the deletion game rounds for you all.
Aww. Everyone in the room looked at each other confused.
You don't ever have to play the same game twice, but still, no one thanks me.
Dai, ich muss jedes Spiel mindestens 3-mal spielen, also halt die Klappe. Hallo, Verto.
Aw, don't say that, Dai. I'm sure we all appreciate how hard you work for us.
Really?
Yeah.
Yoshiki!
The captain gave Yoshiki a scathing look, causing Yoshiki to snap out of his momentary lapse in judgment.
Sorry. You know I can't handle it when people cry. Well, especially girls.
The captain seemed both angered and baffled by stupidity.
Excuse me, Captain, but Yoshiki and I were having a beautiful moment.
Dai turned her attention back to Yoshiki.
You know what, Yoshiki? I will remember your kindness.
Dexter, wissen wir noch nicht, ob die Spiele gleich sind. Ja, das ist halt Dai. Die muss das machen. Das ist ihr Ding.
Huh? Really?
Yeah. When I kill you, I will stay with you and cheer you on until you eventually stop breathing. I will even pretend to mourn for you. Isn't that sweet?
Yoshiki let out a nervous laugh.
Yeah, I guess it is. I appreciate it, Dai.
Katashi cleared his throat, reminding everyone of the task at hand.
Oh, how unthoughtful of me. I should be focusing on the man of the hour.
So, how exactly is this going to happen?
Well, first we will...
Wait, I don't want to know.
I hear you. You want to learn through experience.
Dai winked at Katashi.
All right, everyone. Let's all head to the kitchen.
The kitchen? Dai, I hate to disappoint, but I won't fit in the oven.
Shh, you already said you didn't want to know. Now onwards.
Ja, das ist auch mein Ding, Dex. Aber trotzdem, vielleicht haben wir Glück. Everyone marched solemnly out of the dining hall towards the kitchen, which was close by. It wasn't even a few minutes that passed before we arrived.
Okay, so what I need is for everyone to stand on the outside of the kitchen. Don't go inside. Stay in the hallway.
Everyone looked puzzled but stood still in the hallway. Das bringt uns aber doch gar nichts, weil dann ist ja das ganze Zeug in der Küche verbrannt.
Now, Katashi, if you would please make your way into the kitchen. See? How fitting for the space farmer, am I right?
Katashi was entering the kitchen when he felt a tug on his arm.
I'm sorry.
Shizuka had tears streaming down her face, but she was still not lifting her head. Rather, she was looking at the floor.
Kiddo, I said it's more than okay. Now come on.
Katashi lifted her head with his hand under her chin to make eye contact.
What is our motto for failure? What happens when we fail?
You die?
Well, in this instance, yes. But I mean in general. What happens when we fail?
Wisst ihr, was das Problem an Katashi ist? Das war ja der erste, den ich mir ausgeguckt habe, so von den Kerlen da, ne? Die Stimme.
Learn, retry, succeed.
That's right. We learn, we retry, and we succeed.
Diese Stimme ist böse.
I'm simply leaving the learning to you, kid. Make sure to win, okay?
Shizuka's tears dried up as she sniffled back further tears.
I'll do it.
That's the spirit.
Katashi patted Shizuka on the head for the last time and then stepped into the kitchen.
Officer Ikari, you will
yes,
serve the
Ikari.
Everett well, and we thank you for your service. Salute.
We all saluted Katashi as the door for the kitchen was sealed off by Dai.
About time, people.
The kitchen has been locked down. Temperature control in the kitchen is no longer automated. Temperature control inside the kitchen is now set to complete disinfection cycle. Disinfection cycle?
Oh, how rude of me. Sometimes I forget you ran away with your coward parents and know very little about this ship. A disinfection cycle is an operation that can occur in any part of the ship. It isolates a part of the ship and heats it up using the temperature control to kill any live viruses and bacteria.
Why would the ship even be able to do that?
Why? Why? Isn't that obvious? Let's say we picked you up from space like we did, but you had, let's say, the bubonic plague. If we don't have a cure on board, we need to get rid of that real quick to limit infection to the other crew. So we would just quarantine you and your disease and cook you. Then no more you or disease.
Isn't it? That's so...
Back me up, Captain. You know the protocol.
Wait, really? If I was sick?
It isn't personal. I need to protect the crew, and if you did in fact have an infectious disease that could transfer to the other crew.
You would just kill me?
Enough!
Also auf Deutsch, wenn ich Corona hätte und auf das Schiff kommen würde, würde ich einfach gekocht werden.
Who cares about you hypothetically dying? Katashi actually is, and all you care about is yourself! I don't care about what you have to say, just shut up!
Oh, sie ist so nett. The entire room fell quiet. In my peripheral vision, I could see Dai's smile growing. Aber sie hat recht, okay, also. We stood in silence for almost half an hour. Disinfection cycle in kitchen complete. Temperature control is returned to normal.
I believe what the automated system means is, ding, dinner's ready.
The door to the kitchen swung open and there we saw Katashi. He clearly had attempted to lower his body temperature and removed most of his clothes, but his shorts. His skin was crispy brown color with slight charring. I had never seen a human cooked and I don't think I've ever needed to again. Ich finde es schön mit dem Apfel. Ich glaube auch nicht, dass es so aussehen würde, wenn jemand gekocht werden würde, aber naja, gut. Ich finde es gut, dass da, also das war. Okay, ist okay. Also, ist jetzt nicht der hässlichste Tod? Hallo, Mr. Metalhead. Surprisingly, there was an apple in his mouth that had weathered the cooking a bit better than he did. Did it fall off the bench? Or was he trying to have one last treat before death? Ich glaube, wollte lustig sein. Shizuka ran in once the door was open, immediately removing the apple from his mouth and trying to close his eyes, which wouldn't close. Sind halt kross, ne?
Someone help me! He shouldn't just be left in here!
I wish I could, but you know, I am made of light.
Dai shrugged while smiling slyly. Shizuka attempted to move Katashi, but she was so much smaller than he was. His body didn't even budge.
Move, damn it!
Shizuka became enraged. She was now flailing while tugging on his arm.
Shizuka, perhaps it would be best if you left him to us. We can take care of him.
What, like you took care of Katashi here? I think we can all agree that you're not taking care of anyone!
The captain's face winced at her words as the concern in her face melted away to reveal the stern captain I had come to know.
Shizuka, return to your quarters at once.
No!
Refusing an order? This is getting interesting.
Shizuka was latched on pretty tightly to Katashi's arm at this point. The captain now was visibly irritated. She approached Shizuka and stood only inches from her.
Shizuka, you are to return to your quarters immediately.
So intense.
Shizuka's eyes met with the captain's and her moment of rebellion died.
Understood.
Shizuka let go of Katashi's arm and left the kitchen without looking at anyone on the way out.
And here I was hoping the two of you would fight. You're no fun, Captain.
Die Stimme ist schon wieder anders.
Oh, well, I am bored now.
Aw, and here I was hoping the two of you would fight.
Oh, well, I am bored now. It's been fun.
Aw, and here I was hoping the two of you would fight.
Oh, well, I am bored now. It's been fun. I
This
will
is-
see you all tomorrow for the next round of the deletion games. Toodles!
Toodles. Then her boredom zapped out of the kitchen and left the rest of the crew standing silently.
Yoshiki, Nicholas, I trust that you two can move Katashi.
Of course. We'll see to it now.
Thank you. Everyone is dismissed. Feel free to do as you please for the remainder of the day. I will be in my quarters if anyone needs me.
Für mich. Nee, tut mir leid. Ich hab nur Kekse. The captain left the room and I followed suit. Gut. Jetzt können wir die anderen beiden Tode machen. Müssen wir das überhaupt speichern? Jetzt laden wir das da. Yes. Okay.
Everyone's
Punkte.
Thank you for your
Punkte. Wir brauchen Punkte und wir müssen verlieren.
It was a Let's move. You're 5.
Nein, das war zu schnell. So vielleicht?
Really?
Wieder Teil. Hä, aber...
You're 5.
Nein, ich will nicht gewinnen.
Okay.
Ups.
And that means Team A, you lose. And the lucky winner of the wheel is Nicholas.
Danke, Mr. Metalhead. Dankeschön.
Well, now, that's a shame. The average hotness of this crew is about to take a major dive.
Nicholas, I'm sorry. We didn't do it on purpose.
Ich will keinen Strang ohne Nikolas.
We didn't choose you.
Aber er kann sterben. Jetzt haben wir das Rätsel aufgelöst.
I know. The points fell this way.
Wow, you're so calm about this.
I could see my score as we went. I guess I was prepared for this. And to be honest with you, without my sister, I was...
Sorry, Nikki. No, wait. Not sorry. The other thing. Excited! Let's spin the wheel! So, Nicholas, tell the audience, what kind of death are you hoping for today?
I'm not answering that. You'll stop the wheel on the opposite.
Are you implying that the wheel of death is rigged? How dare you, sir?
It's not real. Of course you control it.
I have never been so insulted. You don't trust the wheel? Fine. I choose for you. To the medical bay.
Come on. We'd better do what she says.
You're taking this so well.
Now or later, what's the difference? At least I don't have to wonder anymore.
I'm sorry, Nicholas. This isn't fair.
This whole thing isn't fair. But it's no more unfair for me than for anyone else.
All right, enough chatter. Let's get moving. Come on now.
Aber ohne die beiden Erste auf dem Schiff ist schon blöd, oder?
Left, right, left, right, left, right.
We didn't march, but we did hurry out into the corridor and towards the medical bay.
Keep marching. We're almost there. Left, right, left.
She kept up the marching rhythm for the rest of the walk, shouting so loudly that no one could hear over it. Okay.
Left, right, and stop.
Katashi stops. Yeah, blah blah.
Nicholas, if you would step into the surgery room, we can get started.
Danke, Dominik.
Don't I get goodbyes?
That Safton rolled her eyes.
Fine, 2 minutes.
Nicholas went to the captain first, nodding to her with a slight smile. I was impressed that he managed to stay suave and cool even while preparing for death. Perhaps he'd been preparing since the moment his sister died.
Captain, I appreciate that you've been doing your best under the circumstances. I don't want you to feel responsible for this. Or for Beatrix.
I'm sorry.
You didn't program Di.
Well, no, but...
Don't blame yourself for this. I assure you, I don't. I'm ready.
And I'm gonna need a volunteer from the
Der
audience.
sagt nur zum Captain Tschüss.
Come on, don't make me pick someone.
All right. What do I have to do?
Don't worry, you'll just be doing some light killing today. I don't believe it's habit forming. If symptoms persist, please see your doctor. Oh wait, you won't have one. In you go.
Nicholas and Katashi both went into the surgical room, but the door remained open behind them. The rest of us assembled in front of the observation window. Melody was just tall enough to see inside.
I like Nicholas. Is he going away forever? Like Mummy and Beatrix?
I'm afraid so, sweetie. Why don't you turn around now?
Melody shook her head.
I want to see what Dai's doing. Will it hurt him?
I don't think so. You can look for now, but you have to turn around when I say, okay?
Okay.
She had to hold onto the wall and get on her toes to see everything, but Melody's attention was fixed inside the room like everyone else's. Dai was inside and giving Katashi instructions.
And then the other one on that arm.
I had missed the instructions, but Katashi got to work right away, so I could see what he was doing. He took a large gorge needle, and Nicholas instructed him how to get it into a vein on the wrist.
That's right.
I'm so sorry about this.
At least Beatrix isn't here to do it.
Katashi inserted the second needle into the other wrist.
I could do this myself, but it is quite difficult, so thank you.
Katashi pushed a fragile smile at Nicholas.
Pretty good for a farmer. Now, the tube's in that drawer. Attach one to each needle.
Katashi didn't need any instruction for that. All the needles he'd placed in Nicholas had a plastic screw mechanism on them, so all he had to do was screw the tubes on using the corresponding end. When that was done, Dai had Katashi attach the tubes to the computer, which in a sense I guess was giving them and whatever they could do to Dai herself.
Audience, how about a round of applause for my glamorous assistant?
There was silence.
Applause.
As Katashi left the room to come back to the window with the rest of us, we each put our hands together for a few unenthusiastic claps. Melody copied.
Daddy, why did Katashi do those things? He didn't like doing it.
Dai can't touch things, so she made Katashi do it for her.
Melody got down off her toes and reached across her father to pull on Katashi's sleeve.
Melody?
It's not your fault.
No!
Thank you.
Quiz time! Who knows the meaning of the word exsanguination?
Auf Deutsch verblutet.
Sanguine is Latin for blood. So logically, exsanguination involves not having blood?
Ding ding! 10 points to the lady at the front. The process has already begun. Now, theoretically, he should die once I've drained 1/3 to 1/2 of his blood volume. But I'm keen to push the boundaries. Let's see what he can handle. For science!
Nicholas Vogel, your service to the Everett has been exceptional. We honor your sacrifice today, and we will remember your bravery and integrity. Salute!
The crew saluted, Melody copied and did the same.
Well now, that's interesting. Only 30 seconds and already his pulse is way down. Keep your eyes on those vitals, folks.
Hatte der nicht angeblich in beiden Handgelenken eine Nadel? I was pointing out the screen readout which showed Nicholas' rapidly falling heart rate. His blood pressure was on the same screen.
Sorry I am late, sister.
It dropped very suddenly.
He's going into shock after only a 5/8 loss of blood. Disappointing.
Nicholas' skin had gone white and translucent. Nicholas started to slip slightly in the chair.
Whoops! Should have strapped him down. Well, we live and learn. Or not in his case.
Monitoring machines let out unnecessary alarm tones.
I don't know. I feel like that could have gone better. We'll have to remember for next time. Speaking of next time, I hope to see you all soon for the next deletion game. Thanks for playing!
Katashi, can you help me with his body?
Do you think that's good?
I don't think so. I think he went to sleep and didn't feel anything else after him. Melody, du bist ein 5-jähriges Kind, hör auf damit! So. Dann haben wir das jetzt auch geschafft. Dann müssen wir jetzt nur noch uns umbringen, wie auch immer wir das schaffen. Okay, also 0.
Everyone's...
Yeah.
0.
Thank you for... If... Your tap. Ah, the suspense is killing me. You're 5...
0. Ich brauche 0 Punkte. Ich muss verlieren.
Let's move on. Team
Wieso
A.
gewinnen wir?
You're 5...
The game...
Congratulations, Team A!
Warum gewinnen wir denn? Was soll denn die Kacke? Okay.
Thank...
I am...
Your tap. And... If you...
See?
Well...
Thank you.
Yep.
Yes.
Everyone supports our... Everyone's...
Yes.
Thank you for...
Well...
If... And... Can you feel the tension? Let's move on to round 2. Team A, you are... You're... No, we now...
Ich brauche 0 Punkte. Aber wir können doch nicht immer gewinnen.
Team A, you are. Team A, you're.
The game.
Congratulations, Team A. Let's get.
Okay.
Congratulations, Team B.
Oh.
And that means. And the lucky winner. Nicholas.
Hä, warum?
And that. And that. And. Well. And that.
The game.
Your team.
Wie sterbe ich?
And if they. We know. Your team. Let tie. And if
Okay.
you're.
Ich weiß.
See?
Thank you.
Yep.
Yes.
Ich habe einmal 4 Antworten dann gehabt.
Everyone's.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
Well,
If and it was a let's move team.
Schlimm, echt.
Your 5 minutes starts now.
one line.
Ich muss eigentlich nur darauf achten, dass Nikolas Punkte kriegt.
Thank you. If maybe I put the money on the wrong horse here. Tisk tip.
Okay, okay, das sieht gut aus.
Team. Your 5.
This is. I don't.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
Jetzt müsste ich...
well, but the fates have luck is not the odd.
No, this is absolute bull. There
Ich
is
sterbe
no
jetzt.
way that
Ich
my
glaub, ich hab's
team.
geschafft.
Don't listen to her. She's lying.
Okay.
Such a sore
Oh,
loser,
wir sterben endlich.
Shizuka.
Oh. I clearly lost Shizuka, and I guess it's better that I die than you or Yoshi.
Cut the crap. I don't lose.
Oh, sweetie. With an attitude like that, you'll always lose. Enough of the Shizuka show. It's time for the Dai show.
Let's spin that wheel.
Ja, ja,
Just
bla bla.
Airlock, air.
Okay, das kennen wir schon.
And well,
Best.
Die KI ist auch das Beste.
and
I'm sorry. Your big
I
has been.
Here, Yoshiki, something to remember me by.
That means thank you in Yoshiki.
all right.
That. That. Officer Silla.
Da ist schon wieder Kimiko, die so verzweifelt aussieht. Dabei ist sie gar nicht so verzweifelt, Mann. Okay, so. Das heißt... Ach nee, wir sind ja Girl. Das heißt, wir haben jetzt jeweils 2 Starting Points. Und das heißt... Bringen wir Nikolas Death dann hinter uns das nächste Mal. Wir bringen Nikolas hinter uns. Ohne Nikolas macht das ganze Spiel keinen Sinn. Deswegen, wir machen das nächste Mal Nikolas. Ich meine, Beatrix und Nikolas sind tot. Was sollen wir damit? So.